Hello and welcome. After more than a week testing different modes, versions, and drivers, I can finally bring you a video fully dedicated to Pokemon Legends ZA, with a complete guide on the best way to play it on PC and Android devices. No wasting time. That's exactly what we'll cover in today's video. First of all, I'll assume you already have the emulator installed with the latest firmware and keys. A quick Google search will easily solve that, so use the search engine to your advantage. If you have trouble finding the emulators, I'll leave the links in the video description. The game itself, however, you'll need to obtain on your own. I can't provide it. The first thing to analyze is which emulator delivers the best performance, but I want to emphasize that performance isn't everything, as you'll soon see. In the comparison footage I'll show, I used the 60 FPS mod on all emulators, as well as the 4K Shadows mod. I'll talk more about mods later. In pure performance terms, Citron came out on top with an average of 92 FPS at the end of the test run, followed by Ryubing at 73 FPS, and finally Eden with 67 FPS. Now, speaking about accuracy for each emulator, starting with Eden, which is currently the least accurate, though it tends to crash less often. After a few minutes of gameplay, you'll start to see vertex explosions and other recurring issues, such as disappearing textures or even the sky turning completely black. While performance is decent, it's the emulator most likely to develop problems during longer play sessions. Next, we have Citron. Unlike Eden, it doesn't suffer from vertex explosions as aggressively, but it can show a fully tinted or distorted screen, something that happens mainly during cutscenes but can appear anywhere in the game. Version 0.9 fixed many of these issues, though some still remain. There's also a bug that causes objects to flicker randomly, present in both Citron and Eden, though more frequent in Eden. Finally, we have Ryubing, which currently offers the best gameplay accuracy. It doesn't have the vertex explosions or color variations seen in Citron, though it still shares the same object flicker bug, something that seems universal across all emulators. I had the best results using Ryubing, managing to play for over 4 hours straight without major problems. However, it can crash during long sessions, especially on PCs with only 16 GB of RAM, since memory usage increases as shaders are compiled. Another downside is that Ryubing is heavier, requiring more powerful hardware than the Yuzu forks, Eden and Citron. So I recommend trying it first. If the game runs too slowly, switch to Citron or Eden. Some of you may be wondering if the game update improves performance. The answer is no. In fact, it can make it worse. There's currently a bug in some emulators that prevents the game from launching if the update is installed. So I recommend avoiding the update for now. The DLC can also cause startup issues, especially in Ryubing. If you're using Ryubing, don't put the DLC in the games folder, as it may stop the emulator from recognizing the title. As for emulator settings, the default options should work fine in most cases. If you're using Eden, disable the EDS option located under the Eden Bail tab, as it breaks the game. Also, as I mentioned before, EDS 3 reduces performance in some titles, so it's not recommended on Windows. Speaking quickly about the mods, which I'll link in the video description, it's important to choose carefully which ones you'll use. I recommend the dynamic 60 FPS mod, which adjusts the frame rate dynamically. If your PC can handle it, the game runs at 60 FPS, but if it can't reach that, the game's speed still remains normal as long as you're above 30 FPS. The 4K Shadows mod significantly improves visual quality, but only use it if you're sure your PC can handle it, since it slightly impacts performance. There are also mods to disable graphical effects and boost performance, such as Disable DuF and Disable FXA, which increase FPS at the cost of some visual fidelity. Installing mods is simple. Right-click the game, open the mods folder, the location varies depending on the emulator, and extract the desired files there. The mods should be automatically enabled. These were the recommended settings and tips for running Pokemon Legends ZA on Windows. If this video was helpful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to keep up with all the latest emulation news. If you want to buy original games while saving a lot, check out Instant Gaming, the digital store that sells games for various platforms, such as PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. Get games of all genres with discounts of up to 95%. You'll also find a variety of gift cards and credits for other services. You can pay for your order through your credit card on a website with a 4.7 rating on Trustpilot. You're buying games directly from Instant Gaming, not from other retailers. If you encounter any issues, Instant Gaming offers 24/7 support. And this month, Instant Gaming is offering a special discount on Wuchang, with a price at least $10 cheaper than on Steam, making it the lowest price ever for the game. What are you waiting for to save? Links in the description. So now let's talk about Android. Creating this guide for the mobile platform, unlike Windows, was much more challenging. We tested several builds, both beta and nightly, until we reached the results we have today. As far as I know, the Citron team has been working to improve performance and make the game's gameplay experience closer to Eden's, but for now, that still hasn't happened. Talking about each project individually, as mentioned earlier, Citron, while capable of running the game relatively well with few flickering objects, suffers from unstable performance and FPS drops. After a few minutes of gameplay, performance tends to decrease significantly, dropping to around 15 FPS on my device. As I said, the developer is already aware of this and is working on a fix. Because of that, Eden ends up being the best option for playing on Android. Gameplay is stable, with no major visual problems like on the Windows version, and on my Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 device, the game runs at native 1080p with a stable 30 FPS most of the time, and that's without needing to install any mods. There are also other Ryubing-based emulators, like Kenji-NX, which can run the game. However, these projects are still in early stages of development, meaning they require much more powerful hardware, achieving decent performance only on Snapdragon Elite tier devices. As for Eden's configuration, you can leave almost everything at default. Disable EDS in the Eden Veil tab, enable asynchronous shaders and shader cache. Resolution in TV mode will depend on your device, but overall, the game is lightweight and runs well on most phones. During testing, we tried several drivers across different devices. Although some people claim that Kimchi's Driver 26 delivers the best performance and compatibility, our tests showed there's an even better driver for Android players, Mr. Purple's end-of-life driver. I'll leave the download link in the video description for anyone who wants to try it. If you experience random crashes or instability, I strongly recommend giving this driver a try. So far, it has been tested on 4 devices, including mine, and proved to be the most stable in most cases. It's also best to play without installing updates to avoid loading errors during gameplay. I'll also leave a few optimization mods for those who want to test them on Android, but I recommend using them only if you still experience performance issues after lowering the resolution. In general, I haven't tested all of these mods, so I can't offer support if you run into problems. And that's it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.